Welcome along to Taxed and Confused. Today I'm going to talk about two different budget methods, the 50, 30, 20 budget versus a zero-based budget, what I used, what I prefer, and how it looks for you. So let's start with the 50, 30, 20. The simple rule of thumb is it's a budgeting method that divides your after-tax income into three broad categories. The first is your needs. That's 50% of your normal take-home pay, and that can include stuff like your rent, mortgage, any bills, groceries, insurance, any transportation costs. So it's what you really need. It's the bare minimum to live. Then we have the wants, that's 30%, and that can include eating out, entertainment, shopping, holidays. So all those wants that just make your life a bit nicer. And then the final bit is 20% into your savings and debt repayments. So it could be including emergency fund, any investments or overpaying debts. The pros of this budgeting method is it's easy to understand and apply, and it's really good for beginners or people wanting a high level view of what their money goes on. And it encourages that balance between spending and savings. The drawback is it's not very detailed, so it can't have the granularity that I like. Um, and there's a wants and needs can blur. So is a car a need or is it a want? And the final bit is it doesn't account for every pound that you have. So it's best for people using or wanting a quick and flexible budgeting system, or those new to budgeting and don't want to track every single expense. And then the zero-based budget. It's more detailed and disciplined budgeting method where every single pound that you earn is allocated a job. So you list out every single source of income, every allocated penny going to your bills, your groceries, any sort of fun money, savings, debts, and everything else. It forces you to account for every single expense and it identifies any waste, and you can track where you might be spending too much. It really makes it customizable to what you want and individually need, but it takes more time to maintain and review on a regular basis. Some people find this method a bit constrictive, so it's really up to you what you find best. The zero-based budget, I think, is good for people who want full control and visibility over their money, and those living paycheck to paycheck want to optimize every pound and get it to work. So there's the theory. Let's jump into my August budget and you can see how it plays out. So let's get into it. I've pulled up my July and August budget, but I really only want to look at August. So I'm just going to get rid of July and get rid of these comparisons here. So I'm just left with August. And the first thing I need to do is look at what my needs, my wants, and then my savings slash debt. So I'm going to categorize each of my expenditure into those three buckets. So the first, I guess, is needs. I'm going to go through and just add next to them needs. These are things that you have to spend. So needs are my joint accounts. That's all my mortgage and bills. Groceries is a need. Car is a need. I categorize it as a need rather than want because it gets me to and from work. Mobile phone is a need. I'm going to put a pixel of my phone as a want, just because I don't need to get a new phone every couple of years, and I could remove that. And the same with contact lenses. I could just go to glasses and not have that expense. Miscellaneous expenses for my living costs, so eating out and socializing, that's a want. As is birthdays, holidays is a want, and house fund is a want. Barclaycard is a need, and IKEA Finance is now paid off, so that's fine. Kids is also a want. Parking, I put into the needs bucket. Tube is the same. Hotels, I'm going to put needs. And then ISAs and my savings is in the savings debt. I'm actually going to change Barclaycard because that goes into a debt bucket. And child maintenance is needs. So this is the first time I'm doing this, so it's going to be really interesting to see. So I'm going to just do a quick formula over here to have a look at how this all stacks up. And as I said, I haven't done this before, so I'm really interested to see what it's like actually for my expenditure. So that's that. I'm just going to make sure it adds up to the final amount. So that plus that is 5470, which is total plus the car. Yeah, 547082. So what is that in terms of percentage? And remember, the needs, wants, savings debt is 50, 30, 20. So just going to do what is that the total? Oh, that's interesting. So I'm 49% in wants. I am, sorry, 49% in needs, 27% in wants, and in savings debts, I am 23%. So that's really interesting. Remember, the sort of the benchmark is 50% here, 30% here, and 20% here. So my wants are slightly under sort of what the rule book says, or the textbook. My savings are slightly up, so I'm pretty happy with that. Like, if we could change anything, it would be reducing those wants or those needs a bit more and increasing the saving and debt. In terms of financial independence, like, you want to get that savings amount as high as possible. I think there's a figure that shows, if you get to 60% of savings of your overall spending, you could probably retire in 10 years. So yeah, so that's my budget split out into needs, wants, savings, debt. It's interesting to see, but I still like my zero-based budget. I like to see every pound, every penny going to work. So I think I'll continue that for a while, but it's a good exercise, maybe just to check in every 6 months or so, just seeing how your budget splits out into those three categories. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Let me know if you've got any comments, anything you perhaps would change or adjust. And yeah, if you don't mind liking, subscribing, it really helps just to see who's interested with the content that's going out.